I need to know. But what I'm feeling now is like a mystery to me. The sky is falling and I'm wondering why. So many days and nights have passed me by without you standing here. There's nothing left for me to see. Forever comes and forever goes, but where it stops I'll never know. Stay a little while, there's nowhere we have to be. Cause I don't need to know right now. There's no one left beside me anyhow. Stay a little while, there's no one meant for you but me. Oh yeah. Sometimes I wish that I could fly away when the night is cold and I don't want to stay. I need to understand. The mystery is clear. So stay a while and hold on.
So stay a while. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G, tuning in all the way from Crestone, Colorado, guys. You guys have seen me on with Miranda. I don't know how many times. I'm here in Crestone at Miranda's house because the permaculture is going to be starting this weekend. I'm excited about all this. But today we have a very special guest who's been super patient while I've been getting everything set up. And he is Amazon's #1 bestseller. This will be guaranteed the last Law of Attraction book you're ever going to need. He's helped thousands of entrepreneurs discover how to attract and manifest relationships, health, and success that they've always dreamed of. His name is Andrew Kap, and he is, wow, such a badass. Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, Debbie, thanks so much for having me. Always enjoy being called a badass.
Woo! Dude, you are like hardcore. I mean, I've met a lot of people who've written Law of Attraction books or have gotten into the actual study and this practice and stuff, but there's something really unique about you, and that's what I dig, and that's what we're going to be uncovering today, are all of the unique parts of what your book is bringing forward. I mean, for goodness sake, it is only a #1 bestseller. So let's just get a quick backstory, and I'm going to go ahead and put the screen all the way on you, and let's rock and roll. Okay, Andrew. What made you think that you need to write a book called The Last Attraction, The Last Law of Attraction book? I love this. We talked about this the other day on LOA today. But how does one come to this conclusion? It's bold. It's bold, which is why you're a badass, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, aside from, I'm happy to kind of tell how, how I just went down this road of understanding law of attraction. But, the purpose for the book in and of itself, I think anyone, whether it is the law of attraction or it's nutrition or it's weight loss or it's relationships or it's money or it's marketing or it's music or it's any area in life where we tend to want to improve ourselves or up our station, we are very predisposed to over consuming information and under implementing it. And, throughout this call, I'm happy to explain why does that happen specifically, but that's what I want to explain in this book, because I think any law of attraction book worth its salt is going to hopefully explain the law of attraction in an understandable, consumable way. And it's also going to hopefully offer user-friendly methods that people can use. I just want to add in that extra spot of let's hold up the mirror to the reader, explain to them what's going on in their mind and basically in their entire thought process. that really helps them understand why they'll get excited. They'll start to use this stuff. They'll start to get results, and they'll still stop. And instead of, following down that path, then they'll go to another book or another program, which ironically, the next book and the next program are also everything they need, if only they'll actually do it. So the whole point of this really bold title and this really bold decision to write this book was not so that people would never buy another law of attraction book, but simply that they never need to. They would never need to buy another weight loss book. They would never need to buy another X, fill in the blank book or program, and can instead understand, like, if this thing is working and it's starting to work, what can I do? What process can I put in place, and what perspective can I have that I can continue down that path with consistency and actually get the results that I'm here for to begin with?
I love this. And what's coming up for me right now is that there's a lot of people, because of that, give me the top 3 reasons that people stop their own manifestation and law of attraction. And by the way, LOA, law of attraction. Let's also explain what that is for the newbies. And then the top 3 things that stop people from achieving that. And then let's get into what those solutions are.
For sure. Well, law of attraction, a good way to explain it, excuse me, is it's basically rooted in the understanding that everything is energy. Your energy, I'm energy, the devices that we're talking on are energy, the waves between that are making the communication possible, and our thoughts are energy. And it's also rooted in the concept that like attracts like. Everything being energy, everything vibrating in a certain frequency, like frequencies will attract like frequencies. So with that understanding, I mean, that is the law of attraction. Then there's the implementation of it, where if we understand this and we're on board with this and we're willing to give it a shot, we can intentionally invite better experiences, better events, better people, better whatever in our life through the thoughts that we choose to think and the feelings that results in. Now, this kind of brings us to, like, well, first question. Some people be like, well, Andrew, that's nice and everything. You're saying what I think about becomes my reality, but I've been thinking about that job promotion for a year and it hasn't come. So where's your law of attraction now? To which I answer, like, okay, are you thinking about that job promotion in a state of frustration, impatience, fear, uncertainty, doubt, jealousy, any other negative emotion? Because if you are, you only think you're thinking about the job promotion. You're actually thinking about the lack of it, which is why you feel so bad, versus thinking about that job promotion with enthusiasm, anticipation, confidence, ease, joy, relief, positive emotions. Then you're on the right track. Now, this kind of lends us into where we don't realize what we're doing. That's part of the problem. And, I know you mentioned for 3, just to give you the number 1 reason, it's what I define as the ego. Because the way I put it in the book is we've got 3 minds. We've got the subconscious mind, we've got the conscious mind, and then right there in the middle, we've got what I define as the ego, because we all give different definitions to different words. And I'm obviously not a clinical psychologist, but the ego, as I define it, is that critical piece in your mind that only has one job in this world, and that's keeping you alive. And that's good or bad news, depending on where you are in your life, because the ego knows right now, whatever your money problems are, whatever your relationship problems are, even whatever your health problems are, you are alive in this moment. And it doesn't want to risk the status quo. It doesn't want to risk a change, even a perceived positive one, because I'm sure there's someone out there listening that wants to be rich or famous. But for all your ego knows is when you're famous, you're going to get a stalker. And that's a threat to your survival. For all your ego knows is you get rich, family comes out of the woodwork that you've never met, and they try to sue you for your home. And that's a threat to your survival. So your ego loves you. It's trying to protect you. And it's a misguided way, but it's holding you in place for that purpose. And that's why people will start to do things and they'll start to get results. And then they'll get that little voice in the back of their heads like, you know what? You've done great here and you're doing great. You can skip a day today. You don't have to do, even though it's an easy 5 minutes of gratitude, even though it doesn't take a lot of time, even though it's the easiest thing in the world, even though you enjoy it, you don't got to worry about that. Let's just skip that for a day. Let's skip it for a week. Let's skip it for a month. It'd be a fun experiment to see if the universe is really listening. Let's wonder, let's let me feed you any bit of information that's going to get you to stop or get you to doubt yourself or halt your progress. Not because I hate you, but because I love you and I want to protect you. And this is the only way I know how. So, of course, I'm happy to talk about how we get around that. But one other piece, because you're asking for more than one, I think a critical thing in the context of that is that oftentimes people do these methods for the sake of getting a result, not realizing that they're not supposed to, which in our last conversations, sounds like, well, what are you talking about? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? And the answer is kind of no, because now we're back in that lack state. When you're doing the thing to get the result, you're doing the thing with the focus and intention and energy and the frequency of not having it. You're reaffirming that you don't have it. Whereas if you do these methods, a gratitude method, a visualization method, a scripting method, for the sake of enjoying it in the moment, well, then you're thinking about what you have or what you want or both while you're feeling good. And that's where the magic happens. And that's where indirectly, because now you were effortlessly sending out the signal of having what you want, then those things come back to you. And it's a really subtle distinction just in terms of how you feel and how you approach it. But when you notice that in yourself, all of a sudden you are empowered to make a better choice. And, you asked for 3, but I think if people can sort through those 2 alone, those 2 understandings, they are more than halfway home. They are way past home. They're home, they're in bed, they're sleeping comfortably because they've made it.
I love this. So I'm curious, what do you feel about our self-worth? Because that's back to our ego, just like you were talking about. But how big of a role do you think that our self-worth and our self-value play in the law of attraction?
Well, our view of our worth becomes the excuse of whether we're doing this or not doing this. If we don't view ourselves as being worthy, we're going to talk ourselves out of it. Where if we finally get, and I know sometimes we get this intellectually, but on a real understanding level, we struggle with it. We are worthy. We just don't realize. We don't realize how worthy we are. We were born worthy. And if you're doubting whether you're worthy or not, you're seeing all these imperfections, seeing all these flaws, seeing all these mistakes. Ask yourself, are you going out in the world trying to maliciously harm people every day? And if the answer is no, good news, you're worthy, no matter what else is going on. And I think once people understand that, once they allow themselves to embrace that reality and that truth, and disperse with the illusion that they're not, then they're going to be more motivated and they're not going to be hopping around. They're not going to let their ego kind of creep into place and talk them out of things. Then knowing that they're worthy, like I am worthy of doing 5 minutes a day of gratitude. I'm worthy of doing 5 minutes a day of visualization. And P.S., when you do that, you've got consistency. When you've got consistency, you've got momentum. When you've got momentum, you've got results. When you've got results, well, guess what? That's what you wanted anyway. So congratulations. All it is about identifying that you really are worthy and going from there. And again, good news, you already are.
Such a rock star. I love that. That's beautiful. All right. So I brought up the things that the more of the negative reasons, the reasons why it's not working now. And let's just take a dive. Let's get into how we shift. Give them a couple of tools to take away. And I promise you, listen, I put something into the chat here. It's up here. It says why the law of attraction hasn't given you the life of your dreams yet, and what to finally do about it once and for all to easily manifest your desires faster than you ever thought possible. And here's the cool part. He's helped thousands of people do this. Andrew knows his shit. So keep it. So seriously, get a pen and paper, because he's going to give you some tools right now to start turning this around for you in your life, because you're worth it.
Thank you for the tee up, Debbie. I love how in line we are. And I guess to speak to that, to answer that, the key thing here is like, just as we understand that self-worth is an important piece, it's also within that context to understand our psychology. We have all these different messages. We have all these different things flying around, and we have human nature. And when the ego's creeping in and there's many things going in, the question becomes, all right, how do you bypass the ego and then access the subconscious mind in a way that's going to do the heavy lifting? It's going to communicate and vibrate to the universe. That's going to do the heavy lifting. You're going to take action, but it's going to be inspired action. You're going to get those hunches and those nudges. But I still have not yet answered, how do we do this? So here's the thing. Again, human nature, we will find excuses to get out of something. We will be lazy. We will be hesitant. We will always find a way, unless we're really excited and we're really looking forward to something. Because I probably said this in our last conversation, but I've yet to find a football fanatic who's gone to me, Andrew, you mean I have to go to the Super Bowl this year? It's like, no, they don't say that. They're happy to get on that long plane ride. They're happy to go through TSA and all that stuff. They're happy to bake out in the hot sun all day in the stadium. They're happy to be there. They want to be in the Super Bowl. So the trick here is, one, realizing that you don't need an hour of work every single day for this. 5 minutes a day of feeling good is going to be more than enough to get you the momentum that you need, even if you have perceived bad or negative moments later on. 5 minutes is enough, meaning what do? We find methods that we enjoy. we give ourselves the opportunity and the permission to experiment. And maybe the first gratitude method you try, you're on board, cool. Or maybe you have to go through a couple. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're just motivated enough to give yourself that opportunity, and then you enjoy it enough that you look forward to it. People, again, they can go to Amazon, and even before reading the book, you can click and read the preview. And in the preview, in the introduction, I talk about this example of magic ice cream. Like, imagine you're in the gym and you don't want to lift weights, you don't want to go through the pain and the recovery and all that. And someone walks up to you, and let's assume you like ice cream. If not, think cookies, pizza, whatever. But they say, listen, I've got this magic ice cream. And it's got all the positive qualities of ice cream and none of the negative ones. And all you have to do is take one spoonful a day, and you're going to get the body of your dreams. No one's going to say no to that, assuming they like ice cream, because again, it's just a little spoonful. They don't even have to take time to eat the whole carton, and they enjoy it. And that's what this is about. This is about a spoonful of an experience that you enjoy just a little bit, that you will look forward to every day, that your ego can't talk you out of. That's the key. And again, I'm happy to teach one or two examples of methods for people to try, with the reminder that, again, that might be the one, or there might be something else. But once you find that one little easy thing, everything else goes from there.
I love this. And considering this is Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality, I think a couple of squirts of how this is going to work is going to be great for me. I love this. You guys, this is all about sparking that G vibe. It's your gratitude vibration. You all know it. You know how this is work. We've talked about gratitude and vibration, my 2 favorite things on the entire planet. Okay, rock their world, baby.
Cool. So easy, fun one. And again, we didn't kind of get into my backstory, but I had a situation, we'll just say, where I went from losing my business to making more money than at any point in my life in only 4 months. And of all the methods that I tried and used, the one I'm about to teach, I attribute most to that, just because it really lined up. Again, I took inspired action. I took action in the world, but this one really made the difference. And I call this the time-lapse method. And it's a simple, this one is obviously if you want to take a few minutes to write something down, but it's a simple gratitude process where you write down 15 things that you're grateful for. 5 of them are from your past, 5 of them are in your present, and 5 are even things that you want in your future. But you're going to phrase all of them out in the present tense. So if you read that list out loud to somebody, they wouldn't be able to tell if it did happen, it is happening, if it never happens, because it's all in the present tense. And then you're going to jumble up the list. So maybe the first thing is a present item, and then the future, and then the past, another present. It doesn't matter. It's all jumbled up. And then, because there's no rules, there's only guidelines, there's only what works for you, you can choose to do this out loud or in your mind. But you're going to read through each item on that list. And after reading each one, you're going to give yourself 20 to 60 seconds to just feel gratitude for that thing. And the really fun, really advantageous part of all this is 2/3 of that list is real. It either has happened in your 3-dimensional tangible reality, regardless of whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, or it is happening in your 3-dimensional tangible reality, regardless of whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, which means the gratitude that you feel for those things is going to carry a certainty, a confidence, an enthusiasm, and really just a power to it that you can't fake, that you can't manufacture, that you can't replicate. But because we as humans don't downshift psychologically very easy, you've interspersed those 5 future things. That gratitude, that same power, the confidence and certainty and enthusiasm is going to carry over into the gratitude that you feel for those future things as well. So whether you believe in the universe or your subconscious mind or a combination or something else, you're basically powerfully programming what you want to come into your life with the same level of enthusiasm and certainty as the gratitude that you're already feeling for the things you already have. And P.S., you're feeling good throughout the whole time, which is the key here. You're feeling good while thinking about what you have or what you want or both. And P.S., if I'm either lying or I'm deluded and there's nothing to this law of attraction thing or this universe thing, well, then just look to the studies that say, at the very least, gratitude has been demonstrated to improve sleep, increase confidence, reduce anxiety. So no matter what, you're getting a win by taking these few minutes out of day where you otherwise might have been worrying about your business or relationship or the state of the world or something else. Like, no, I'm worthy. I'm taking this time to myself to feel good. So you get a win in the moment, and then you pave the way for more wins to come to you in the future.
Woo, the gratitude layup. Straight from Andrew. I mean, seriously, it's like that's what I'm feeling. It's like a layup. You know, you're just awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're right. When you're practicing gratitude, did you know that you get in the workplace 25% more productivity in the workplace when people actually practice gratitude? And my favorite practice on the face of this earth. Gratitude, I believe, is pure alchemy. I believe that that is how you transfer your life. It's that appreciation factor. You know, there's people out there, there's some myths out there that can get busted up really quickly. Well, if I'm in gratitude, it's, you know, I'm not taking care of my own stuff. You know, it comes into that prideful thing. And men, especially, have a harder time with gratitude. So, did you ever find that in your own life? Like at first, did you find like a harder time with that whole gratitude part when you
The
first entered in?
the only difficulty that I had was in the beginning when I was trying to sort this out, where I worried I wasn't doing it right. I mean, I
Got
guess
you.
fortunately for me, I was open enough where I don't care. I'll take the help because here's the thing. Again, I'm taking so much action as long as, and I've recognized again, inspired action versus lackful action. Lackful action, and I wasted my 20s, so I'm over it already. I've wasted my 20s on lackful action, so now I know it's all inspired action. Well, is, you know, if I'm that man who has to take that action, well, I already know I'm doing it. So why won't I take a little help along the way? Why won't I recognize that I'm responsible for the things that I'm in control of? But it's way more prudent to kind of leave things up to the things that I'm not in control of, because I'm not in control of them. Why not let that go? Why not let that come to me? But to speak to the difficulty that I had just in terms of this recognition, again, before I realized that it's only about feeling good, which could be really good or just a little good, while thinking about what I have or what I want or both. In the beginning, I used to be like, I'm not doing this right. I'm worried I'm not doing this right, not realizing that that was just the ego keeping me in place. But I've since, you know, seen the errors of my way, and I've since relaxed, and I've since been able to be open and embrace and accept that as long as I feel just a little bit good, it doesn't matter if I'm really laying it on thick. It doesn't matter if I'm doing it perfectly, because again, the only thing perfect about it is that it feels good. So that was my one challenge, and that was how I came to the conclusion to kind of jump that hurdle and get past it.
Ooh, I love it, and I'm really grateful that that came up, because I know that I remember when I first started practicing, that I would think, "Oh my god, you know, my oh my god, my vibration just went down," because I went into, like, I got pissed about something or whatever. I'm like, "Oh my god, did I just completely screw that up?" You know, the whole I'm not doing it right, and I love that you're suggesting and encouraging others to, release themselves from the outcome.
Yeah.
Release themselves from holding on to that thing that they think it needs to look like this. You know, what I also heard you say during this, a little bit ago, was when you're holding on to the vision of what you think that you need, and how that it puts it in that lack. It also is holding on to it, so it's keeping it stuck there.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not allowing. Could you imagine letting go of your attachment and getting better than you even wished for? That's what I'm experiencing. How about
Yeah.
you?
That's the appeal. The appeal here, and again, I'm a strategy guy, so whatever I can do to kind of talk myself into something or get myself on the right track, and I know it's good for me, I'm going to do that. And I am very much attracted to the idea that what I'm asking for might come not only faster but in a better way when I embrace the fact that I can't control it. I think sometimes we have these huge goals, and we're like, I have no idea how I'm going to pull this off, and people look at that as a curse. But no, it's a gift, because when you have no idea how you're going to do it, you don't, since you can't figure it out anyway, you don't have to worry about it, and you can instead say, okay, let me put out the vibration of it, let me wait for inspired ideas to come, let me deal with what I'm in control of, and let's see what happens. And I'm telling you, the really cool thing is you will often get what you want in a way better way, and a lot of times in a way faster way. Because there's someone out there, again, we'll go to the job promotion. They want that job promotion so bad, not realizing that if they were more open-ended of wanting a more successful career, wanting more happiness in the workplace, that maybe there's an entirely different job that's going to reach out to them, because they will open themselves up to it. And P.S., it's a higher salary, it's a better commute, it's a more fulfilling work experience, it's better colleagues. And by the way, that's not the end of the road. That's gearing them up for an even higher station a year later. They don't realize that because they're so fixated, like, no, it has to be this promotion, this place, it has to be that corner office, even though I don't realize a year from now, they're going to cut down all the trees and my view is going to suck. It's like, don't even worry about that. Worry about just the better experience and be open, saying, okay, I will take the job promotion. I really will, but I'm also open to the pleasant surprise of this or something better. I'm not so attached. I'm not going to allow something better. And again, it's strategy. Strategically allow yourself to let more in, because you will more often than not be very pleasantly surprised.
Listen, y'all, that's just sexy right there. That's sexy law of attraction. Okay. I mean, get your groove on. If that hasn't sparked your G vibe, I don't know what can. Seriously. That's beautiful. I mean, that's freedom. The way you know this in my own life. What he's saying is true, and y'all should get this book right here. It's floating right. If you see that right there, everyone, the Last Law of Attraction book.com. You can also go to Amazon and you can order it straight from Amazon. This is amazing. So we're going to get another nugget ready.
Cool. Another method for you.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, I'll tell you the one. I'll give you a combination. I'll actually tell you what I do every single day because I do a version of a method from the book. I obviously take my own medicine, right? So what I do, because people ask, like, okay, Andrew, Mr. Law of Attraction, what do you do every day? Well, again, I keep it to within 5 minutes, not because it's got a break under that, just so we're clear, but because I'm a busy guy also. I have so much going on, and because 5 minutes is more than enough. I mean, if it goes to 10, beautiful, but I'm never putting myself under that pressure because if it gets to 10 and I get bored or I get impatient, I'm actually hurting myself if I keep it going. But that's neither here nor there. To give you the next technique, I basically pull out my phone and I open up my recorder app and I just make a list of I speak the list of all the things that I'm grateful for. And then what I do is I send that message to my friend across the country and he does the same thing for me. And it's a version of a gratitude blitz. It's a version of spoken scripting where I'm just verbalizing things. But it's really cool because we've installed this minor social pressure because we don't want to let the other person down. So like, even if you're having a day where it's been busy and it's like 8 p.m. already, you're like, well, I don't want to let my boy down. Let me pull out that phone and do that thing again versus, oh, I'm not accountable to anybody. So I'm going to let this one go today. And it's really amazing because we're in our 4th year of doing this. So we've seen incredible differences in both our lives. Like he was getting this from me before I ever wrote the book, before I ever talked about, 50,000 copies in 1 year, before I talked about the 5-star reviews, before I talked about, the emails coming in from enthusiastic people, like all the good news. Like he was there before any of that. Then he was there while I was describing it before it happened in 3-dimensional reality. And now he's here as I'm describing it in 3-dimensional reality. But it all sounded the same to him because I was always saying it to him in the present tense.
I hope y'all just caught that. Your words are power. Your words are power. Your thoughts are power. I love the practice. I've heard another couple things from you that I love, and it's your practice, and it's the practice so that you can build your momentum. It's with the consistency. So it starts building that and that momentum. A friend of mine who's no longer on the planet used to say, practice, gratitude, success. And his big thing was positive momentum because of consistency. And that right there is just so beautiful. I love this. You have a gratitude accountability buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am just so excited about all of the things that you're doing. I want to know a bit about how people can work with you directly because you also take private clients.
I do. It's interesting. I do, but I haven't structured my business to do so. In other words, what will usually happen is like, again, people go to lastlawofattractionbook.com. It'll auto forward to Amazon. They'll get the book and they'll read it. And of course, then they'll, assuming they're on board, they'll get my bonuses. They'll get emails. They'll just reply to an email saying, hey, I want to work with you. And if they do, like, I'll say, okay, cool. Here are my rates. Here's what happens. But just so you know, just so we're clear, before you work with me, one, it's going to be my goal to get you everything you need in one phone call. If you want more, that's fine, but I'm getting you everything you need. But also a quick reminder, even though, again, people can do this, from where I sit, my viewpoint, everyone's their own guru. And again, I'm open there for people because some people do just have questions they want to get answered. But by that same token, the design of the book and a 90-day program that I have on the back end, which just walks them through the methods, the design is that they just get in their own space of comfort and agency of like, okay, this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm doing it every day. It works for me. So you want to work with me? Awesome. The best way is getting the book, reading it, making sure you know what you're getting into of my personality and my philosophy. And, it's only $4 if you get it on Kindle. So it's not like a lot, or, you go to my YouTube and you get access to me for free. But yeah, I don't even have something organized in place where I'm working with anyone long-term yet. If I get an inspiration or an inkling that I think that I can give value in that way and that there's something to be had there, then I'll probably do it on a dime. But until that moment happens, I'm kind of like just available to someone if they email me and they want to reach out about it.
I love that. And you're also going to be in a couple of events coming up, yeah?
Yeah, our friend Neo Positivity on May 22nd, he's got a cool Law of Attraction Summit that's going on. So I recommend people check that out. And I have another one in July that I've been invited to, but we haven't worked out the details. I was like, I don't know the details yet. They just kind of invited me and I said yes, and we're at that there. But I think that's kind of half the fun. Like, you know, you'll get an invite to a summit or to speak or something, and you'll say yes, and you'll mark the days on the calendar, and then it'll unfold however it's supposed to unfold. But a lot of the stuff that I have, like, you know, specifically planned out is more just, you know, creating a lot more YouTube content that I've got planned. I'm basically, you know, any method on its own is more than enough. You'll never need more than one. But I also recognize that humans enjoy novelty and variety. So I keep coming up with fun new methods and fun new names. So like on YouTube, I have a plan where I'm just going to keep putting out stuff like that. And I also, you know, spoiler alert, someone named Debbie G may be a feature interview on an upcoming YouTube episode of mine on my, you know, Love Attraction channel, Andrew Kap. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on the way, but mostly in one way, shape, or form. It's just me spreading this information in the hope that people will be just motivated enough, just that crack in the door enough, where they do just long enough and have just enough of a good time and get enough consistency, where the result comes. And again, they don't learn from me, they didn't learn from the book, or they learn from their own life experience. And once that happens, just like it happened for me, you can never take that away from someone. And that is my sincerest intention for anyone, whether they do it through my book or any other way.
I love this. Tell me your favorite story really quick. What's one of your favorite Law of Attraction stories? You were just like, yeah.
You
Besides the
know,
book, we know the book. He look, and I hope you all caught that too. He spoke it in the present moment. Spoke it in the present moment. Hope you all caught all these little nuggets all through here. If not, go back and check it. Okay, story time.
so certain stories I can't share because they're so personal. Like the most traumatic ones are literally I'll get emails from people telling me that they use the content as their inspiration to get out of like an abusive relationship, which blows me away. But to give you a story where I can share details and I don't feel like I'm getting too personal on someone, I actually interviewed someone on my YouTube channel, and you know, she got my book and she got my 90-day program, and she replies on day 87, and she's like, "Listen, you know, when just starting and I found your book, I was on the brink. I thought I was going to lose my job. I thought everything was over. It was a sales job. And now I'm at a point where the bare minimum, the bare baseline is $100,000 in sales every single month." And just because, you know, she gave herself that permission to use the methods and kind of go in her own zone. And I was just so excited that I asked her if like I can interview her. So I put her on my YouTube channel where we had the interview and we discuss her process and her philosophy and her approach to everything. But that is just so exciting because you take someone that really is, they think everything's over, and then their bare minimum standard is something that most people think is the greatest thing ever and can't even imagine. But guess what? You can and should imagine it because anyone and everyone has access to that.
That is absolutely 100% right. And what I want everybody to do is please go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Is it Andrew Kap?
Yeah, simply Andrew Kap, youtube.com/Andrew Kap. That's KAP. Thank you for asking them to subscribe. You know, like right now, I'm never going to be that person that doesn't get excited by new subscribers. Like for me, that's like really, I think a lot of people, even YouTubers, no offense to them, I don't think they really understand the significance of even one subscriber. That's one unique human soul who's made the decision of, I'm a busy person with a lot on my plate. I've decided to click yes to this, to observing and receiving content from you and devoting my time, energy, and focus to it. So when someone does subscribe, no matter how many I ever get, I always take that as a huge compliment, and I'm really grateful for it.
I love how that you just expressed that. Thank you. That is huge gratitude. You're right. It's just one. How many heart prints can we leave on the planet today? I challenge everybody today. How many heart prints can you go out and leave? How many people can you be in service to with gratitude? Go out and find them. Go out and be that you're seeking. Be that you're seeking. And I also want to acknowledge and compliment you on your ability to not to get out of your own way and not interfere, and how that you practice that beautiful art of non-attachment. It's absolutely glorious. Yeah. That is, if there, I think that that's the biggest tool, if, period. You know, yesterday driving to Colorado, and the time we wanted to get there at a certain time and it's not happening, right?
Yes.
And it's like, so you relax into the moment is what I did. I just relaxed into the moment and just went into gratitude practices right there, just at that moment, just looking around and embracing the presence for the present that it is. So I love that you are the way that you don't attach. When we don't attach to what something should look like, it's the biggest gift in the world. And then to be grateful for what everything does look like, you
Yes.
know?
And, real quick, I remember from our last conversation, please don't let me put words in your mouth because this is off of memory. But I remember
Yeah.
one thing that came up was deadlines. And if I remember correctly, you were like no to deadlines. And I was like, only yes to deadlines if they actually make you feel good, but mostly no to deadlines, because at least for me personally, deadlines or we have to get there by that time or it has to be this way. To me, it always has introduced resistance. And I've had that recognition.
Yeah.
Therefore, again, I'm open-ended not because I'm so wise or so great, because it's a strategy. I'm strategically open-ended to more possibility because I've seen it make things easier and better in my life in the past. So I'm confident that it's going to do so in the future. I'm not some wise guru or sage or whatever, like who has the perfect answer. I'm just some dude that noticed this. And every time I've done this, it's worked for me. Every time someone's taken my advice about it, it's worked for them. So I'm just pushing that same button. It's kind of like, you're playing a game of chess and you're going to keep playing that same strategy until you find an opponent that finds a way around it. But I've never found an opponent around this strategy of being very open-ended and very accepting and very let's just see where this goes, has basically 100% of the time over a long enough timeline and often a very short timeline given me so much more, so much better, so much faster.
You rock. The 3 A's, man. Right there. It's accepting, allowing, appreciating. You rock. I don't even know if they're pretty well kind of in that order. Because if you can't accept it, you can't appreciate it. And that's really hard to allow it. So you got to figure it out. But thank you. That is glorious. And I appreciate you being here. I want to have you back again. And we have lots of really fun stuff coming up with Spirituality Gone Wild and all of our peeps. So keep your eyes out. Yes, he is awesome. I agree. Keep your eyes out for more of Andrew on Spirituality Gone Wild. They needed to hear this today. And I love this. They love the positivity.
Thank you, Kristen.
And Kathy says, good morning.
Hey, Kathy. I love Kathy. Kathy's awesome.
Seriously, right? Andrew's work is great. That's Kathy. Gotta love you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody who tuned in today. I love you. Remember, go out there today and remember who you're grateful for. Find somebody in your life to say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you. Okay? Thank you very much, Andrew. You have been a complete rock star today.
Debbie, thank you so much for having me in this awesome space. I really appreciated you, the intentionality of your questions, and what I guess 100% of the time now has been always a fun conversation with you. Thank you.
You rock, man. I love it. I love it.